Hey guys, this is Daniel. Once again, I wanted to talk to you about how to use the path of least resistance and why that is important, in your day-to-day life, why it's important for big decisions with people, with business, with your personal life, with situations you might undergo. And so the path of least resistance is kind of thrown around a lot in our day to day conversation. It's really easy to say. Uh, it's really easy to say, oh, I'm just going to take the easier way, which is not necessarily what it is. But for me, the path of least resistance is defined in a way where you have an object, which could be a challenge, it could be an experience, it could be a person, and you're trying to figure out the solution for either the friction, the differentiation of the conflictors, right? The path of least resistance in the sense of how do you navigate with this situation that it is, or this experience. So I'll give you an example. Let's just say, and I'm going to use it because it's, let's just say you're having an issue with somebody in your life, and no matter what you do, no matter how many different ways you try to get around the situation with somebody, could be somebody at work, it could be a work situation, could be a personal relationship situation. Let's just say that there's just no way that you're just able to get around this challenge of a person or an experience, right? And you've tried different things, and you're like, I don't understand what to do. So the majority of people in life, they think that because they see a challenge, they see a wall, and they see that it's in front of them, right? And that wall represents an issue that they have, or a challenge, a person, something, whatever it is, right? We're just going to call this wall Bob. Okay, Bob represents resistance, right? Bob represents the problem you have at work, the relationship issues you have, the financial troubles, right? Bob is a representation of a reflection of you and what you're not doing, or what you are doing, or what you're good at, what you're not good at. It's the reflection of the the resisting aspect of your life, right? So if you have something in your life that's happening to you, it's because you're doing something also in your life, whether you see it or not, unconscious or conscious, right? And so you may say to yourself, well, Dan, how does this apply to my problems with exactly the moment you put you in the issue, or you in whatever it is, it's because of you, right? Well, Dan, in my this or in my that, or this person at work is affecting me in this way, right? This all has to do with you. And so I like to say that this wall called Bob, called resistance, right? It doesn't have to be a physical person, right? But let's just say it's a wall. Most people think that they have to tackle these problems because they're there, right? It's kind of like seeing an orange cone in the road and saying to yourself, do I just run over the cone, or do I go around the cone, right? Yeah, you want to go around the cone because, you don't want to just walk over a cone. I mean, why would you do that, right? Or, if you're walking on a road and a wall just sprouts out out of nowhere, you could climb over it, right? That's the most resistant way to do it. Or you can just go around it, right? And so the issue here is that I think people in society are trained to, we're just trained as people to not really see this more than two-dimensionally, right? And so what I mean by that is, we have a problem, and we the first thing that we kind of go to is the binary dualistic way of seeing resistance, right? Which is, shoot, I gotta handle this thing, right? I gotta handle this because it's affecting me, right? But you're handling it because it's affecting you, and because it's affecting you, you're not just that's the only reason that you're handling it. And so it's a very reactive way. No matter what it is, you're always reacting to the thing, and then you're like, I'm reacting. This is how I am being in this moment, and or how it's affecting me day to day. This is how I'm going to continuously handle it, right? And so it's a very binary, it's very one-dimensional, very even two-dimensional way of seeing it. You may even try to two-dimensionally try to resolve this resistance that you have. And a lot of the times it's there because you're a byproduct of the experience as well, right? Because you're participating in whatever it is that you have an issue with. And so what I want to say in this video is, when we think about the path of least resistance, right? It's not just that you're defaulting out of solving an issue. It's about not identifying with the issue as yourself, understanding what it is in its entirety, right? You're affecting Bob the Wall, whatever that situation is, in a certain way. You've put in this amount of energy, and it has built up to this, right? It could be an addiction, right? You can say, Bob the Wall is really, your habit of smoking, or Bob the Wall is your unhealthy ritual to eat a lot of food, or it's Bob the Wall is your conditioning to just, never get anything done. And in the back of your mind, Bob the Wall for you is, not getting anything done, or it's, trying to have more quality time. So we're always comparing ourselves to Bob the Wall here, called resistance or whatever it is in your life, because it's just always there. But when you try to take a step back from the resistance and you say, okay, cool, I have this challenge, I have this problem. What am I going to do about it? Right? I can either do something about it, or I can, try and take it out of my life. I can either replace it with something else, or I can head on, right? So I could try climbing the wall, I can try destroying the wall, or I can just try walking around the wall, right? Or most of the time, people try to think about a way to create some kind of mechanism to just easily go over the wall, right? And so there's a time and place for extreme action, and there's a time and place to realize, if you've thought about something, if you've tried going around it, and you've tried everything you can 1,000 times, the path of least resistance sometimes is walking away from that situation. And if it's I just don't know how to quit smoking. But you know what? Take a breath in this situation, right? Like, think about it as not yourself, right? The issue is the frustration, right? Because when we create energy, when there's energy built up around a challenge or a resistor in your life, that causes friction. That creates more involvement within that thing, right? So it's like a vortex. You're coming towards that object, whatever it is, Bob the Wall experience, whatever it is that it may be, the resistor, and you're coming close to that thing, and you're becoming more friction. There's more friction within you in that situation and that thing. So, how I personally handle the path of least resistance is, I ask myself, does it benefit me to fix it, to resolve the issue, to do exactly what my mind wants me to do? And if that's the case, how do I do that? B, if it's not that, or two, if it's not that, right, then how do I counteract the situation? How can I get either somebody else involved, or what do I need to accomplish for myself so that this thing is not happening, right? And that's really important, because you really need to understand what your relationship is with this conflictor that you have going on here. And so I think we'll do another video about this. I'm losing time here because I have to go, but think about what I'm talking about in terms of path of least resistance, in a way of how you're participating in your actual involvement, separating yourself from the actual resistance or the friction that's happening, and seeing it from a perspective outside of you, outside of yourself, seeing it as two different objects and how they're interrelating, right? And sometimes you may find out that, hey, maybe I am, putting energy into this, or maybe I'm not putting enough energy into it, or maybe that I should be getting somebody else involved, or maybe I should just replace it, right? So there's a lot of replacing, displacing, a lot of energy that you could be feeding, or a lot of energy that you maybe are not feeding into this situation. So food for thought. Let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe. Would love to hear your feedback, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.